The following video is dangerous, so please ensure strict caution when attempting to either construct or use this device. Enjoy the video. This is my lead container lighter. I have my match and my match lighter. It's basically ready. There we go, it just lit it. So now you can light whatever you want. And yeah. On the list of materials, all you need is a box cutter. Any type is good as long as it's sharp. A pair of scissors, a lead container. Any type will do as long as it looks like the one I am holding. A box of matches. You're not going to be needing the slide, so you can just take that out and put that aside. You're going to need a hot glue gun, and you should heat it up before you do anything. Straw, and the one and only duct tape. Okay, to start out, you want to take off the cap of the lead container. To do so, you want to push the cap forward and pull up. The cap should come off. Once you get the cap off, you can just set it aside. Okay, now take the straw and cut a 1.5 inch section off of it. So that's like right there. So that's approximately 1.5 inches. And then take one of your matches and just make sure that when you put it in, it should have that much distance. Yeah, okay. So then set the straw down. Okay, so then take the hot glue gun, which should be hot by now, and take your lead container. Actually, wait, no. Take your straw, and you want to put a tiny bit of hot glue in the end of the straw to seal it up. So then, once you put the hot glue in, you want to seal the end by squeezing the two ends together, and you should hold it there until you're positive that the straw is sealed. It should look like that when it's done. So now you can take your lead container, and you want to make sure that when you're holding the lead container, you want it to be this way, because that's where you're going to put the straw in when you use the lighter. So now you want to take your hot glue and put a tiny bit on the bottom of on the side of the straw. So I'm going to do that. Be very careful that you don't burn yourself. Okay, so once you finish doing that, you can take your lead container and you can stick the straw inside the lead container. So it should look like that when it's done. Just like that. And then you can set that aside to dry. And again, make sure that the match can fit in. Since you cut off a tiny bit of the end when you sealed it together, you might want to cut off a tiny bit of the match when you use it. Okay, so now you can set that aside as that dries. So now we are going to work on the lead cap. So if you look closely, you can see there's a tiny lip right there. That's what the slide, this is the slide, slides on when you are using the lighter. So you don't want to cut off all of that lip. So we're probably going to cut off around 3/4 of it. So yeah, and make sure that the inside looks exactly the same as mine. If not, like, you know, different. There's many different types of lead containers. So now we are going to cut it. So take your handy box cutter and work at it. So when you finish, it should look something like that. It should have some of the lip left, and you should have a tiny bit. So the next step is to assemble the striker system on the lighter. So now you can set aside the cap, and you want to look at your box. So this is the striker on the box, and you want to take your handy dandy scissors, and you want to cut a tiny section out of the striker, and it should be around 2 centimeters long. And then take it out. So it should look like that. So now we are going to assemble the striker system. So take your cap and your handy dandy duct tape. And we're using duct tape because this is a like 1 or 2 use lighter. So you want to be able to replace the striker. So we're using tape. So you want to rip off a reasonably small piece of duct tape. So it should be like this big. And then take your igniter face down on the striker system. So it should look like that. And then tape it down. So at the end, it should look like this. And the lighter should be able to bend up and down. Okay, and now we are practically done. So now you want to make sure the slide still works on the lead container. And it should slide back, and you should have space. And then you want to take your match, and you want to stick it in there, the straw. You know, make sure it still fits because the hot glue might seal it up. So I've cut my match, and I cut it about 2 centimeters down, I would say, maybe even more or less. And you have your completed lighter. So you stick the match in there, you push this shut to use, you just pull back. And then the flame should be going. And then you can light whatever you want, of course, like I said in the past video. There's a couple problems with this, but I've worked most of them out. Some people have difficulty lighting it if they don't have strong enough fingers. So, you know, if you give this to your parents, you know, to light, just make sure that they're cooperative and be patient with them, and don't say, "You have horrible fingers, you loser," kind of thing, you know, like I did. Anywho, and another issue is the igniter gets burnt, which is why we use duct tape. And it's easy to replace, and it's all simple. And yeah, thanks for watching.